So those of you used to the few hardy souls who are used to watching me on my channel, you'll have mostly seen me doing gaming stuff. In fact, you will have exclusively seen me doing gaming stuff, such as the naval action stuff I do, as well as some of the Blood Bowl type stuff I do. But today I just thought I'd look at something else. It's a citizen science project, and it's about finding planets in our galaxy. This is a NASA managed thing, although at the moment the BBC in the UK, every year actually, for the last 5 or 6 years, and then just this year in Australia on the ABC, they've had a TV show all about stargazing, and one of the little things they play off the side is the ability to, as a citizen scientist, as a normal punter like you and me, help identify planets that are out there in our solar system. And in a moment I'm going to be showing you how to, not in our solar system, in our galaxy. In a moment I'm going to be showing you how to do that. So I mean, there's amazing numbers kicking around. There's hundreds of millions of stars in our galaxy. Once you get outside our solar system, there's 400 million stars in our galaxy. There's 100 trillion galaxies. 15 years ago, we didn't know of a single planet that existed outside of our solar system. Just in the last 10 to 15 years, we've identified 3,600. And very excitingly, in the last 48 hours in Australia, as a result of this citizen science project, 4 new planets orbiting a star have been discovered. So how does it all work? Well, basically it involves a telescope staring at a star for like 3 months, actually a whole bunch of stars, a patch of stars. I think in the last one they captured like 400,000. And it stares at this star and it registers the light coming back from the star. Now, as a planet passes in front of the star, it causes a dip in the light that we see in the telescope. So this is the twinkling of a star. Stars can twinkle for multiple reasons. Maybe there's another star going around it. That's called a binary star. Maybe it's a pulsar and there's energy spewing out of it. Maybe it's fairies. But one of the reasons is because a planet is transiting the star. So let's go and have a look how the likes of you and me can have a bit of fun and identify stars out in our solar system. So let's just get rid of this high quality graphic and have a look at how you can do this. So you go to this website here, and I'll actually pop this in the description. You go to this website here and you sign up, and it takes like 30 seconds to sign up, and you say get started. And as soon as you're started, the best thing to do is to have a quick look at the project tutorial. And it basically tells you you're looking for a pattern like this. You see this graphic over here? So you're looking for the light to be solid, perhaps a gap, and then a real lump of of light falling down in a sort of shaft. And that's a sign that something has occluded the star. It's got in the way of the star we're looking at. And so this little thing tells you at the 0.0 line. We'll see this in a moment. You can see this. And then there's a graph, and the tighter the little dots are around the dip in the graph, the cooler it is. That's the transiting planet that you're seeing there. But before we get going, there's a couple of things. They've got about 400,000 stars in this particular batch that we're looking at. And those stars are, they've added in a few hundred ones that they themselves have set up. So as I said, just recently in Australia, they've discovered, using this technique, 4 planets going around a star. And this was the graph that they saw. So you'll see here there's this cascade and a bit of a gap at the 0, 0. And then if you look, these dots which represent where they've picked up the occlusion, they fit really nicely around this curve. So that's a really strong indication that what we've got here is a planetary occlusion. And this is a real one. This is something that's been found in the last 48 hours. And you can see here, these are all the citizens the folks who are out there who managed to see the planet. And using this technique, we've identified, the science has identified 3,600 planets. So once you've had a look at the tutorial, and it really does only take like 30 or 40 seconds, there's a little guide that's really good. So you click good candidate and it shows you an example of a good candidate here. So all this noise listening to the star, and then this drop here when something has occluded the star. Sometimes around 0.5, if you see another drop, that's a bad sign, to be honest, and I'll explain that why. So that's a good candidate, but it also shows you what to watch out for. This is a binary star. So this is two stars going around each other. And what you see is here, you see the dip, but then you see another dip, and then another dip, and so on and so forth. So the other thing you can look for is there's this dip, and then the line goes on a curve like that, and that basically means you've probably found a star that's been orbited by a star. A secondary eclipse is this type of thing you see here, where there's at the 0.5 there's another little dip, and we'll do some real ones in a minute, so don't go away. And then variable star, it looks like we found a space worm. And then gaps in the data, that means it's crap, so let's ignore this one and go back. Noisy data, it's all over the place. The cameraman was drunk. And blanks, that's like the one I'm looking at right now. Basically, looks like there's been an error in the code and nothing has happened. So let's have a look and see if we can find ourselves a planet or a candidate planet. So it's very easy to do. This is the first image. It's a crap one. There's nothing on it. It's blank. So we're going to say no. Done. Next. And then this one's noisy. It looks like a drunk guy's been walking across the snow. So that's no. Next. It's another broken one. So you keep flipping through. There's like hundreds of thousands of these. So this one here's got a little bit of a dip, but nothing that we're excited about. So no on that one. Next. And this is it. Just do it now. It's one of these things. It's surprisingly addictive, this. There's a little bit of a dip here, but there's only 2 data points, so I'm not excited about that one. I'm going to move on and have a look. This one's crazy bonkers. We've found a sea slug out there, a big happy face in the sky. So that's not a planet. Go away. Well, I don't know what that is. The dots have gone red. That's no. Next. Oh, so this one's interesting. Now, so this one's got a real push down here. There is a little bit of a cascade. So this could be a binary star or an eclipse. But I'm going to say yes to this one. Now, what I do is you can create a collection. So it's just like a list. I've created a collection for my candidates. I'm going to add this. And then what I like to do is, if you say yes, and then you hit done. So in this particular case, what they've done is this is one of the ones they've added to make sure you're picking up the right things. So in this particular case, this is a one they found earlier, or it's just a test. But you can see there, this is the signature we're looking for. The collection points along the line. There's a big cascade down here that drops down, and it's 6 on the scale, not some farty little thing. So let's go to the next one. That was a trick. So this one is perfect. So this one will be a test one as well, I suspect. Yeah, it's a test one. Move along. Drunken, this is 7 people coming back from the pub in the snow. So that's not what we're looking for. This one's a little bit interesting. There's a bit of stuff here. So I might say yes to this one. And then what you can do is I'm going to add it to my collection, so I can come back and look at my collection later on when they invite me to the Royal Observatory for my awards. And then when I find one that I think is interesting, I like to open the link in a new tab. And then, I've got too many open here. Let's get rid of some of these fellas. Open the link in a new tab. Is this the one? No, it's not. Come here, say open in new tab. Right, so now it'll open here. And this is where other people have maybe made an observation, because every graph we see, there will have been hundreds of other people looking at it. So one other person, Wizvoz, has said possible transit. So You can use hashtags. So I'm going to use possible, or I will if I can type, possible, right, and then I'll use hashtag transit because they're the cools. And then, oh, again, you have to be able to spell, and then to save me doing that again, I'm going to cut and paste that. And I'm just going to make a little comment in here that the dip is a bit clumpy, because that's a technical stargazing term. So when you make comments like this, people can respond to it, so you can see a follow-up on it and all of this sort of stuff. You'll when you've set yourself up an account. Oh, that's good. It's broke. Internal server error. All right, we'll ignore that. You can come here and you'll get emails and notifications and the likes when other people have seen it. There you go. I've broken NASA. Right, let's copy that and be an IT guy and hit refresh. We're currently performing some scheduled maintenance. Please check back in a few minutes. There you go. I missed that before. Oh, there you go. In fact, it did actually. That's my Jahil. I've gone mad. So that's a bit embarrassing. Anyway, probably can't delete that. Doesn't matter. Next one. Let's have a little look-see. There's nothing much happening there. So that's good. So we've possibly found a planet. Now, this is a slightly drunk guy walking back from the pub with, I estimate, about 6 mates. I don't know what's going on there. What is going on there? So you're looking for the collection at 00, and then something's happened here. A spaceship, alien spaceship has flown past the planet. So no, we're not looking for spaceships, we're looking for planets. This one's rubbish. This is obviously people going to the football match in the snow. They're all grouped together because it's freezing cold. There's a red one. We don't know what red ones are. Cherry blossoms. Let's move along from that one. So this one's got a little bit of a dip, right here. There is another little dip there, but I don't think there's enough data points for me, so I'm not going to highlight that one. That one's rubbish. Go along. That one's rubbish. And oh, so this one's good. Look at this. We've got a nice drop there. There's no correlating drops further along. They fit quite nicely along the Brood curve. We'll give that a yes. And it's a test one to see if we're on the right. So that's good. It means we identified one that they've preloaded as a way of making sure you're on the right path. That's obviously naff. Well, that's quite a big number there. I'm assuming that these numbers are like an intensity thing, the flux. So I'm going to highlight this one as a yes. And then we'll open up the, we'll add it to my little collection. Jahil's candidates, it's public, so you can have a look at those if you want to have a look at the ones I found. And we'll open up the talky talk thing. And see if anybody's made a comment. We'll just make a comment on this one. Only a few data points down. So I think adding a comment's a good idea. We're going to ignore the internal server error because it still seemed to post it when I reloaded the screen. We'll kill that, we don't need that anymore. So next, that's all over the place. So that one's rubbish. We don't know what's going on here, so it's another red one. I don't know why they're red. Feel free to comment if you do. So that's clearly not a super sexy planet flying around a sun somewhere. Next. Oh, that one's quite interesting. Okay, so that again is quite a pronounced set of readings. There's no other stuff. These are a bit weird. I don't really understand. This is individual transits because it plots this graph like multiple times. But I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to do it. So I'm going to say yes. And let's see if other folks have picked up on this one and what they've said. We can't tell, so we'll just put is a bit limited. And not lots of transit data. I'll add a comment there. So let's just remind ourselves here, we're looking for this type of pattern here. All right, and this one looks quite interesting. So next, it's drunk. I'm not even sure what this one is. I think they're not looking at the stars here. They're looking at a zebra crossing on Earth. Next, that's just a boring star. No planets going around it. Sacked. One thing I don't understand, I suppose, to some extent, is that if they're only looking at the star for 3 months and it takes like a year to go past, you're not, and that's a year for us, right? The further out you are, the longer it takes to go around a star, and obviously depending on the star's size. But anyway, let us see. This one looks quite good, but there's a dip here on the 0.5, and if you remind ourselves that second dip is a sign of a eclipse. So we're gonna ignore this one, or I know binary star's wiggly. We're still going to ignore this one. We're going to say no to this one. No planets today. This is good fun, and we might find a planet, and it might be famous, and then I can name the planet, I'd imagine, and that's good, especially for when the aliens come there, and it will be attacked by Jahilians. These ones are all a bit crap. That one's all over the place, so I think the camera was having a bit of a wobble while they were taking this. I'm suggesting the guy's hands were a bit shaky at the observatory. Well, this one's got quite a nice little cascade. It's reasonably flat. There is a bit of a tweak here, but I think we'll say yes to that one. Has anyone else said anything? It's good to know that server maintenance, I thought it was maybe just an Australian thing. For gaming, that the servers were knackered while we were having a look, but no, apparently it's true of astronomy as well. As soon as it's Aussie prime time, let's bloody bump the servers. So I don't know if it's recording these. Let's have a little look. Let's open it again and see if it's recording my lovely comments. Oh yeah, so it's recording the comments, so we can ignore this error message, which is a generally good thing to do with most error messages. Nothing much there. Next. Now that's an interesting one, isn't it? What's going on there? So there's like 3 little dots, but then there's this other dip here, so I'm going to assume that this is one of these eclipsey things and say no. That one's like a single dog walking through the snow, so that's not one. That's completely mad, and look at the transits, completely mad. Next. It's not really pronounced, 044, so no, let's give that a miss. Next. Yeah, it's a bit scattered, that's not a planet. And so you get the idea. Oh, look, here's a good one. It's got a bit of a dip. It's not very strong though, is it? Okay? And they're not all sort of lined up around here, so we're going to say no to that one. That's not a planet. That's not a planet. The guy at the observatory blinked. It's gone mad. There's nothing happening there. And this is the thing, right? See, I'll just stay for one more planet. That's not one. I'll just stay till I find one more planet. It's good to do if you're playing a game where you're maybe sailing away on naval action, like I like to play my naval action. You can have this open in the other window, and while you're sailing across the sea, getting attacked by pirates, you can be looking for stars. So there's a bit of a dip there, but they're not really around the blue circle, so we're going to say no to that. It's a bit of space dust maybe. Nothing happening there. Well, they're not even looking at. I think here they're looking at an indicator on a car, so they've completely duffed that one up. Cameraman was asleep. Next, little bit of a dip, but it's only a tiny fraction on that. I use that. Oh, mind you, it's only 1, 0, so it's actually quite strong. I wish there was a maybe. I'm going to say no, because it doesn't conform, really. It doesn't look like that, does it? That's drunk. So we'll find one more for this Whoa, look at that. That is a planet. Could that be any more of a planet? I don't think so. That is a planet, and it was just a test one to see if we were right. How disappointing. That's not a planet, so that's not a real one. So keep going until we find another planet. There's only 350,000 images to go through. This could be the most exciting stream of all time. Oh, there's one. That's one. Look at that. Beautiful. Doesn't go around here very well. These dots don't go around here. So I'm actually going to say yes or no. I don't know. What do you think? Yes or no? Let's say yes. See if anyone else thought it was one. No one else has made a comment. We're going to pop it up. Only a small dip. So, like, if 100 people all look at the same one, and if they all say yes, then obviously that means, like, one of the scientist nobbies is going to come along and have a look at it, and you know, make a confirmation or whatever, and then they're going to point telescopes at it and do stuff. And when they point the telescopes at it, it's pretty cool, because they can tell from the way the light is refracting whether or not it's like a gas giant or a rocky planet, and then they can understand more or less the size of it, and then based on the size of the sun. So if it's a sun the same size as our planet, and if the planet is the same, so the sun is the same size as our sun, and the planet's about the same size as our planet, if it's the same distance from the sun, then it tells them, hey, this could support life. If it's a weaker planet, and then a weaker sun, but the planet is nearer, then even that could support life, because a weaker sun wouldn't sort of blow the atmosphere away if you were a bit closer. That area where a planet circles the sun, where liquid water could exist, is known as the Goldilocks zone. It's not too hot and it's not too cold. So there's a bit of a dip, but this is a bit crap. So I'm going to say no. Next. Crap. Crap. And, oh, see, there's a good one. There's a good one. This is nice and straight, so that's a yes. And it's a test one. Buggers. Anyway, it means we're looking at the right things. This one doesn't look right. Next. Oh yeah, they appear to have focused their camera perhaps on a fairground ride by mistake. Could happen to the best of us. Drunk people walking home from the pub again. Little bit of a dip, but it's tiddly farts, so that's a no. So yeah, there's like hundreds of millions of stars in our galaxy, and they've already found 3,500, 3,600 exoplanets. Some very recent, some ones where, if you remember in the news recently, they described it as Earth 2 because it was so similar to Earth in its position. I mean, this one's got one dot down here, but I think that might just be a hair on the camera, so we're going to say no. And they estimate, based on the number of stars in our galaxy and how many they've looked at so far to find 3,500, that there could be as many as 35 billion planets in our galaxy, which is very cool. And there's 100 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. Next. It's crap. That's definitely not one. Next. What happened there? I don't think that's not... that's a moth, right? Or one of them glowworms they've highlighted on. So that's fail, NASA, fail. It's got a bit of a dip, but then it's all scattered all over here, so I don't like that one. So I'm saying, no, you're not a planet. And you've got to pick these right, because if we get it wrong, we're not going to be looking at the right places for where the aliens are coming from to steal all our bacon. There's a couple of dips there, a little bit of a cascade. And that's sort of quite a big number on the scale, so I'm going to say yes to that one. And let's see if anybody else out there, let's get rid of this one a second, get rid of that one. See if anyone else out there thought this was a potential. They're not really, they're not beautifully aligned up around the thingo. So let's put a possible. And if you get it wrong, it doesn't really matter. So a little comment. There's only a few points below the line and not too strong on the blue correlation, but still a maybe. Add your comment, ignore the error because it's Aussie time. Next. Nah, that one's crap. Oh, you see that? Look at that. That is a planet. I have found the planet Jahil. And it's a special planet. On this planet, women actually like men. Or if you're a woman on this planet, the men are made of chocolate. So this is what we want. That is a planet. Done. And it's a test one, you bastards. I thought I'd found the Jahil one. That's not a planet. Next. Nah. Next. Definitely not. That's not a planet. Never, ever, never, never. That is Redonky Donk. I don't know what that is. That's my heart rate when watching Walking Dead last week. So that's not a planet. Go away. So that's got a nice dip there, but it's not on the 0 line, which is where they want it to be. And it's got other stuff here. So this is some other galactic phenomenon. Next. That's not one. One more. Ooh, that looks quite interesting. Although it's only a total, it's 2 zeros and a 1, so they don't track very nicely around the blue. But I'm going to say yes on that one. And does anyone else out there, my fellow citizen stargazers, anyone else think that might be cool? No, no one else has said anything. Let's bung that in. And what was our comment here? Small dip, but tightly grouped. There's the missus getting the food ready. Tightly grouped, not really aligned on the blue. Give this a maybe. Back over here. That's not one. That's a rubbish star. Someone made the wonderful observation that this isn't naval action. No, I'm trying to find planets for Vorus in outer space. And if we find a planet that we can actually live on, it might have developers who finish bloody beta games. That's what I'm looking. That's why I'm looking for planets in outer space, mate. What's that then? So that goes on a bit of a wobble. So that's probably more likely to be a binary star because we're looking for this pattern here. Remember, where a planet has occluded the sun. Go away. Next. That's crap. That's not a planet. Next. Okay, cameraman went for his sandwich. Bit of a dip. Bit of a dip. But yeah, I'm not buying it. No, that's not one. Right, three more minutes, and then we'll give this a go. We'll go and do something more useful in life. Let's have a little look-see. Yeah, no, I don't think that's a planet. Remember, what we're looking for here is something that it looks like that, and then it's got a nice tight clustering around the circle there. Looks like that. Nice tight clustering around the circle. You see again, these are the examples of good ones. Right, and I don't think this one meets that. The circle clustering's a bit average. So we're going to say no, you're not a planet. Oh, you see that's a planet. We've now found Jahilion, where all games are completed early access. Yes, it's a planet, and it's a test one to prove that you're doing the right thing. Bastards thought it was a planet. All right, not a planet. What's going on there? There's not even a dip. Sacked. That was NASA looking at Donald Trump. That's Donald Trump there. That was NASA spying on Donald Trump during the election. That one's rubbish. Next. More rubbish. Terrible stars. Fail star. Ah, so roamery, little dot. Gone. Bit of a dip. Bit of a dip. Don't know if it's deep enough. Is it deep enough? Yeah, it's not deep enough for me. It's a crap planet. If it is a planet, it's a crap one. We're not going there. Nope. Oh, and the other rather cool thing, incidentally, if we go back here, oh no, I can do it from here actually. So let's get one that's a bit more sexy time. Next. That's not sexy time. Next. No, I'll show you some cool stuff. Right. So this one's quite interesting, right? Oh, it's not really, because it's only got two little farty dots on there. I'm pretending to look over here as if I know what but I don't. So let's amble along. Crap. I want to show you. If we get a good one, I'll show you something interesting. Now, what is going on there? That is completely drunk. That'll be one of them binary stars. So I say no. Drunk. Drunk. A sea slug. Okay, they've been looking at a sea slug. That's all over the place. Come on, give us a good one. All over the place. Ooh. No, rubbish. Red ones, we don't know what red ones mean. Gas giant power. Look at that, what's going on there? I think the camera was off to the side. You see, that would be great if it was here. But it's not here. So that means ignore it. Now, that is a planet. Alright, that is the new planet Jahil, and it's a bloody test one. Grrr. Next. No. Come on, give us one that I might be a might be. Too noisy. Give us one that might be. Ooh, wee! And then it stopped. Wee. So this is a ball bouncing behind a tree and then bouncing away. So they're staring at the wrong thing again. Two little dots, not enough dots. And what's going on in the background there? Mrs. is going mad. Sounds like she's on the maracas. That's my food. What could that be? Who knows? Who knows? That's not one. That's not one. Ooh, okay, so there's a good one. That's a good one. We like that. So I'm going to say yes. Right, now, what you can do is, you see this eye? Click on the eye. Oh, I can't open in a new page. You can open this in a new. So you open this, and this gives you the data sheet. Now, I'm not going to pretend I've got any idea about this at all, about what any of this means. It tells you it was the Kepler. I think it's the satellite that's looking at is called the Kepler Satellite. Oh, these are the folks who collected it. How cool is that? These are the scientists what collected it. But if you come down here, you can see what the telescope was looking at. How cool is this? So this is what it was looking at. Alright, so these are the different things it was looking at, and then we can get bigger. So if you play Elite Dangerous, you can maybe work out where this is and fly there and confirm whether or not it is actually a planet with aliens on it. I don't know. Well, let's have a look at one of these. I've not had a look at one of these before. Whoa! Look, see, there you go. That's the planet. That's it looking at the star. It's totally exciting. We get all this data here. Who knows what that means? It's probably really good. So you can look, it's very cool. There's another picture down here. Let's have a look at this picture. That is a crap picture. Anyway, back to here. So we like this one. Let's see if other people, other citizens like myself, stargazers, have had a look at this one. No, they haven't. So again, if this is a real planet, I name this planet Helion. There we go. In you go. Beautiful. So there's a fair chance that that's a planet and I'm going to be famous. And that's it. So it's hard to stop doing it because you find one and you think, oh, this is it. I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to be on TV with Brian Cox. We're going to be sharing a Nobel Prize. You get loads of money for a Nobel Prize too. These ones are all rubbish. Obviously, because I've found too many stars, they're giving me the trash ones to share it around with others. Oh, it's broke. No, there we go. So there you go. That's it for my citizen stargazing. I've put the link. It's called zooniverse.org. You can also download it as an app where you can do cool stuff and look at it on your app thingo. And you can find planets, which is, you know, how often can you do that? Not often, is the answer. That's crap. Right, I can't stop. That's rubbish. I can't stop because I want to find a planet. What's going on there? That's a bit of a weird one. It follows the curve. Very nice, doesn't it? But what are all these scattery things? I'm going to say yes. I bet you everyone else, I bet you other people have looked at this one and they think, you know what, Jahil, this is the planet. That little wibbly wobbly bit there's a worry. So there you go. There's two other people reckon this might be a thing. Oh look, I've spelled possible in my hashtag with 3 S's. What sort of muppet does that? Oh well. Good dip. Let's fix up my hashtags because that's a bit naff, isn't it? There we go. Next. Ooh, that one's quite good as well. Although it doesn't line up on the blue very well, does it? Hey? So I'm going to say no. I'll say no to that as well. That's clearly no. You see, you can't stop. Once you pop them, you can't stop them. Right. I know what's going to make me stop. I can smell my dinner's ready. Sorry, science. Let's hope there's no planets that are missed due to me getting into me tucker. Alright, so there you go. I'll end it there. That is the wonderful world of... Ooh, what's that one? Of citizen stargazing. So, if you had a look at that and you enjoyed it, you fancy giving it a go yourself and finding a planet, naming it after somebody or something, then I've put the link in the description to the video and give it a go. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and I'll see you in space.